Hi JCC yogis, I'm Meg and I'm going to lead you through a little stretch and flow that's designed for beginners as well as my familiar faces in all the classes. So let's begin. We'll come to a standing position at the top of your mat. Feet are inner distance apart. Pull the energy up into the spine, roll the heart open, palms face forward. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale and sigh it out through the mouth. Another big breath in. Arch the arms up towards the ceiling. Interlace your fingers and press the palms towards the sky. Lift tall through the spine and we'll begin to sway over and to the right. Feel the rib cage extend. Maybe even taking the gaze up past the elbow. And then release, arms lift forward. Let's take a sway over to the left. Palms facing to the side of the room. Gaze up towards the ceiling, a long extension through the right rib cage. And then release, arms lift back to the sky. Soften your hands to the low back. Press the palms in, roll the heart open, and take the gaze up towards the ceiling. Remember to pull the belly button in towards your spine as you breathe. And then exhale, shoulders over hips. Hinge forward at the waist as your fingertips reach down towards the earth. Inhale, halfway lift with a straight back. Exhale and melt. Fingertips frame your feet. Step your right leg along behind. Toes pressed down. Heel stays lifted. Right hand plants underneath the shoulder and left arm reaches tall towards the ceiling. Find a stretch. And then exhale, release, hands plant. Step back into high plank, top of a push-up. Knees can always come down as needed. Begin to take your hips up and back, coming into downward facing dog. Bend one knee and then the other, feeling a stretch behind the legs, your Achilles tendons, your hamstrings, your glutes, and then settle the heels down towards the mat. Inhale, pull forward, shoulders over wrist, high plank. Exhale, take the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, pull forward, shoulders over wrists. Exhale, take the hips up and back, downward facing dog. One more time, bring it forward, shoulders over wrists. Exhale, take the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take the gaze to the top of the mat and walk your toes forward, coming into your forward fold once more. Soften your knees, hands to opposite elbows. Let's find a ragdoll pose, just letting the torso sway side to side. Beautiful. Check in with the low back, in with the belly, and then release, fingertips down towards the earth. Inhale, halfway lift with a straight back. Exhale and melt. Press down, rise up, sweep the arms overhead, interlace your fingers, finding a steeple breath. Lift tall and begin to sway over to the right. Feel a long extension through your left shoulder and left hip. Inhale, pull back to center. Lift and begin to sway over towards the left, that same extension through the right rib cage. Pull back to center, soften your knees. Heart pulls towards the sky as you find a back bend. Remember, hands can always come to the low back for more support. And then release, swan dive forward and down, fingertips reaching for the toes. Inhale, halfway. Exhale and melt. Hands frame your front foot, step your left leg long behind, toes pressed down. Heel stays lifted, left hand plants underneath the shoulder as the right arm reaches tall towards the ceiling, lift. And then release, fingertips come down towards the ground, plant. And step back to your high plank. Inhale, hips take you high, downward facing dog. Pull forward, shoulders over wrists. This first vinyasa will drop the knees down towards the mat. Elbows bend, pull your heart forward and through as we rise up, cobra pose. Retuck your toes and lift your hips back to downward facing dog. Inhale, pull forward, shoulders over wrists. Option number 2, elbows bend, dropping chin, heart, and chest all the way down towards the mat. Roll the head and the arm bones back as we rise up, cobra pose. Retuck your toes, hips take you high, downward facing dog. Option number 3, inhale, pull forward. Elbows bend no more than 90 degrees. Pull your hips forward, tops of the feet down to the ground. This is our up dog. And then retuck your toes back to downward facing dog. Shake your head out, yes. Shake it out, no. Pedal out your legs and walk your toes forward, coming into forward fold.
Soften your knees once we get there, finding our ragdoll pose. And then soften the heart next to the thighs. Interlace the fingers at the low back. Press the palms together. Arms reach tall overhead as shoulders stretch. Press down through both heels and then lift all the way up. Shoulders over hips. Arms reach tall towards the ceiling. Lift. And then begin to take your seat back, heading into chair pose. Now, notice your low back. Has it rounded? Can you pull it in? Firing up the glutes. Hands can come to heart center if your arms are feeling fatigued overhead. Take another breath in. Exhale, hinge forward at the waist. Inhale halfway. Exhale and melt. Hands frame the front foot. Step your left or right leg long behind. Toes press down. Heel stays lifted. Walk your fingertips over to the side of the room, reaching the arms forward. And then continue the movement, taking it into a wide leg forward fold. Head can shake yes, no. You can bring hands to opposite elbows and just enjoy the posture of your body. Breathe in and exhale. Walk the fingertips back up. Fingertips frame the front foot, back heel spins. Plant your hands and we'll step back to our downward facing dog. Inhale, pull forward, shoulders over wrists. Elbows bend, shin, heart, and chest lift. And then back over your toes, downward facing dog. Take your gaze to the top of the mat. Walk your toes forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and melt. Press down and rise up. Arms sweep tall overhead and lift through the fingertips. Sink back through the hips. One hand comes to one knee. Opposite hand comes to the low back. Lift and begin to twist, finding a sensation through the back body. Unwind, take the heart forward and switch sides. Hand to knee, hand to low back. Press in firmly. Inhale, lengthen and find your twist. Exhale and release. Fingertips down towards the earth. Straighten through the inner thighs. Forward fold. Halfway lift with a straight back. Exhale and melt. Fingertips frame your feet. Step your left leg long behind. Toes press down. Heel stays lifted. Begin to walk your fingertips over to the side of the room, elongating through the spine. And then continue your journey, all 10 toes facing one side of the mat. Hinge forward at the waist as you move into forward fold. Again, options to sway side to side or just to hang here. Find what works best for your body. And then walk your fingertips back to the top of the mat. Toes turn back, back heel stays lifted, hands plant. And take it back to downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts tall towards the ceiling. Bend your knee and stack your hips. Feel an openness through the inner thigh. Pull the knee forward and we'll step the foot to the top of the mat. Taking the left knee down towards the earth. Arms sweep overhead, reaching tall towards the ceiling, our low crescent lunge. And then fingertips to the outside edge. Begin to shift the hips back, moving into a half hamstring sensation. Take a breath. And then pull the knee forward. Walk your torso a long way away from your front knee. Arms can stay upright. You can bring your forearms down towards the floor or anywhere in between. Take a breath right here. Exhale and let it out. Inhale, lengthens your spine. Exhale, let's find a twist, taking your heart up towards the ceiling, reaching through the right hand. Stay right here or kick the heel in towards the glute. Maybe the hand finds the foot. So nice. Take another breath. And then exhale, release. Foot down towards the ground. Fingertips back to the top of the mat as we heel toe. Right foot over to the right. Spread through your toes. The knee can stay upright or falls over to the side for a lizard posture. Breathe into your body. And then exhale, sigh it out. Knee over the ankle, firing up the left leg and stepping strongly back into our plank. Hips take a side, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts tall towards the ceiling. Bend your knee and stack your hips, feeling an openness through the inner thighs. Exhale and level. Pull your knee forward, stepping the foot to the top of the mat. Right knee down towards the earth. Arms sweep tall overhead. Reach. And then exhale. Fingertips frame your left foot. Take your hips back and move into your hamstring stretch. Breathe in. And then exhale out. Pull the knee over the ankle, walking your torso towards the side of the room, away from your bent leg, so arms can stay upright. We can bring our forearms down to the floor, or maybe even split the difference. Press down through the right hand, left arm lifts up towards the ceiling, stacking the shoulders. Stay right here, or maybe it feels good to pull the heel in close to the glute. Hand to foot as we kick the heel back. A big stretch. And then exhale, release. Take the heart back to the center of the mat. Heel toeing your left foot over to the left. Spread through your toes, activate through the knee, and then maybe the knee falls over to the side. A breath in. Exhale, release. Knee over the ankle. Fire up the back leg as we step strongly back into plank pose. Hips take us high. Downward facing dog. Inhale, pull forward, shoulders over wrist. Elbows bend, chin, heart, and chest. Take it all the way down. Lift. And then back over your toes, downward facing dog. Again, inhale, pull forward, shoulders over wrists. Remember, knees can come down towards the mat. Elbows bend, lift your heart, rise up. And then retuck your toes back to downward facing dog. One more time, inhale, pulls forward. We can hang out in high plank or move through our vinyasas. Elbows bend, chin, heart, and chest. Lift your shoulders, and then back over your toes, downward facing dog. Widen your knees. Sink your hips down to the mat and find your child's pose. Find your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Another inhaling breath. And then sigh it out. Walk your hands underneath your shoulders and come into tabletop position. Take the heart up towards the ceiling, rounding through the spine, and then let your belly come low, hips and head come high. Using your breath to guide the movement, arch and sway. Lift and lower. Here's a beautiful place to begin to add on. Maybe the hips sway side to side. Maybe the shoulders shrug and press. You can walk the fingertips to the edges of the mat to find a little wrist stretch. Or maybe return the hips to the heels for child's pose. Find what you need and take it now. Inhale, press back up, hands plant, toes tucked, downward facing dog. Right leg lifts, shin comes parallel to the top of the mat, right knee behind right wrist, right ankle behind left wrist. Settle into the hips and then let your heart melt down. Making a pillow with your forehead. Rest your body. Begin to plant your hands underneath your shoulders, toes tucked under, take the inner thighs up and back, returning to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg tall towards the ceiling, shin comes parallel to the top of the mat. Left knee behind left wrist, left ankle somewhere behind the right. Once you've settled in, make it passive, letting gravity do the work of the posture. And this is a pose that you can also do on your back with figure 4, if that feels better for your body. Take one more breath in. And then exhale. Hands plant underneath the shoulders. Right toes tuck under. Take the inner thighs up and back. Downward facing dog. Come down onto your knees. And we'll make our way into a comfortable seat. Sukhasana or easy pose. Inhale, arms lift tall towards the ceiling. And then right hand to left knee, left hand behind you. Inhale, lengthens your spine. Exhale, finds your twist. Unwinding, fingertips lift towards the ceiling. And take your stretch or twist in the opposite direction. Inhale, lengthens. Exhale, twists. Release your heart back forward. Soles of the feet come together. Lifting the heart up towards the ceiling. And then hinge at the waist. Make this a passive posture, letting your knees stretch down towards the earth. Bring the heart back up. Knees come together, closing like a book. And we'll make our way onto our back for our final postures, adding in a little abdominal work. Pull the shins overhead, knees 90 degrees. Plant your hands into the thighs back into the hands as hard as you can. Press, press, press for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release your heels down towards the mat, knees over ankles. Elbows tight to the riblet cage, and then fingertips up towards the sky. Inhale, lift your hips up towards the ceiling, activating your core and your glutes. Press down, rise up. And then release, hips back down towards the earth. Both heels extend. And we'll make our way into Shavasana, closing your eyes and returning to your breath. You are welcome to stay in Shavasana for as long as you would like. Scanning your body, returning to the breath. And when you're finished, you'll gently move fingers and toes. Roll wrists and ankles. Stretch your arms long behind you. And then roll to the right side. Let your head pillow onto your arms, your knees pull into your chest, and use this moment for gratitude, for your body, and for your breath. As you are finished with your practice, we'll make our way to an upright seat with eyes closed or softened and hands at heart center. As always, it has been my honor and privilege to guide you. The light of the highest in me honors the light of the highest in all of you. Namaste.